is Nomanda Mlodra, anonymously known as Sky, and I'm here to recite, not much of a poem, but a conversation about the 90s. And here goes. The 90s. I was born in the year 1994, a time when the scent of tear gas was disappearing from the skyline, a time when streets were being scraped of the blood of our uncles and fathers and grandfathers who had fought for freedom. But their songs will never be sung because they never made it to Soweto. They just laid in the dirty streets of Tembisa. But I was raised in the 90s. What a time. The 90s. The sun seemed to shine a bit brighter in the 90s. It was as though the ozone layer was virgin to all the chemicals and bullshit that is being spread by the earth. The 90s. Everything was real, so real that it was incredible, was graspable, was tasteable. Even the scents in the air were just gullible to human nature. The 90s. Let's talk about the music in the 90s. Who else could forget how incredible Mashamplan was when they would assure you that there is no problem in life and okusalayo siyajola, so who cares what anybody has to say about us? Days when Sis Brenda Fasi would see complications on the tars, and even if there was traffic, she would just say Vulindlela, and you would see cars open up to find new direction. Days when Bumshaga didn't need you to respond to their tobela, but they'd say hello anyway. Days when Queen Iyaya was a part of Abashante and girls were not afraid to shave off their hair because it was completely normal, it was beautiful, and wearing skimpy stuff was not seen as a sin because it was just what they wanted to represent and it was innocent. Days when Athama Fukate would make you happy. Days when Athama Fukate would release track after track. Mavuya Joel. For any girlfriend that is cheating on her man. What a time to be alive. The 90s. The 90s were beautiful. Even the rainbow was as colorful as a 3D animation that is done in the amazing world of Gumball. And if you were lucky enough, you would walk right past a couple of kids playing marbles and chewing gumballs, and it was beautiful. They did not really have cars, but bricks were used as cars to show that they have a constructive mentality. The 90s. There was no WhatsApp. There were no cell phones that were reaching every household, condemning minds and making mothers forget and abandon their children and chat to them like, did you do your homework today, son? Everything was just the way it was supposed to be. And I remember finding beauty in sitting in Stupinsisikai and watching and waving goodbye to the setting sun. Can we not forget Christmas? Christmas was beautiful. There was music and jelly and custard, and it's not the same as today because back then it felt new to us because we were only 4 and 5 years old and everything was just beautiful. We'd sit down with our grandmothers and listen to stories yet to be told by us to our grandchildren, but we cannot because we were not old enough in the 90s. When DJ Fresh was hungry for the industry before he started playing for kids that are of a different shade to us, when DJ Smooth was losing for real, when Unatingai and Zola were trying to make music appear to be something like a daydream. When Zola was in Yizu Yizu, we were so scared to watch him, but he was such a perfectionist. We would peep through blankets when our parents told us to cover our eyes when those terrible scenes would be played. The 90s. Even the bold and the beautiful was beautiful, and we didn't mind the idea of generations going on for generations because it was the isitingo that we needed before we knew that we would require a rhythm in our city. But the 90s was a perfect time for us to grow up because we are now the creators of our own dreams. We are now the kids that were raised in the streets. We are now the kids that are trying to chase their dreams, looking back from where we come from. And all we can do is just cry rivers, streams, because Bonga Muffin is not going to get back together. And I still would like to know what Gwenzagalan Maltatuscopus Fagas was win, but Bonke Laumas have been accomplished into beautiful houses, and there is nothing to go back to because the 90s are gone. The 90s were a beautiful time to be alive. I wish I was old in the 90s, but I was born too late. Bring back the 90s. Maybe the world won't be cold enough for all these motherfuckers to ice skate.